Dun dun, interrupt the rambling. Dun dun dun. Theme song.
Hi, welcome back, Ramblers. I'm Fatima, a makeup lover, cheese enthusiast, and tea spiller.
And I'm Ricardo, a physical anthropologist, a personal trainer. Why are you laughing? A personal trainer. I'm a wigologist. I'm also a bartender, a deputy chef, a executive connoisseur of chicken nuggets, and so much more. And this is
Interrupted Rambling.
Interrupted Rambling.
Today's episode is the one about work.
Another one though is, and this is job related in a way because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, I didn't really, for my first two jobs, I didn't have to apply, or interview. It was basically jobs that were handed to me, so privileged,
Yeah.
So my horror story is job interviews. I never had the experience of them. So when I actually did go on other job interviews and wanted another job,
Yeah.
and this is like at a surprisingly old age that I went into this. I think it was, how long ago? Like 2 years ago? You remember,
Yeah,
right?
I think it was, 2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago, so I was probably like 25. But two of them I remember very clearly that were horrible job interviews.
Yeah.
One of them, I did the thing of like dropping off my resume in front of like at the restaurant, and I don't know why it didn't come to mind that maybe they were gonna do an interview at that moment, But that's exactly what happened, I gave them the resume and they're like, oh, do you want to do an interview right now, like just to see, the vibe. And I was completely taken aback. I was like, oh shit. So like, he asked me questions.
Were you dressed the part?
No, yeah, I was in all black, So what I would usually wear if I was serving. But, excuse me. He asked me questions and I was just like completely, like, no podía pensar,
Yeah.
Like I didn't think of questions accurately or answers accurately. Like it was horrible. Like I said, it was a horrible experience. And then another one was, I was going to a coffee shop. I went because I've always wanted to work at a coffee shop, and there was a whole bunch of other people. I don't know if you remember this one, but there was a whole bunch of other people interviewing.
Yeah.
There were so many of them. I was not expecting that,
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like there were so many people and there was multiple people interviewing. So there was like 5 people interviewing. But there were so many that at the beginning it was one-on-one interviews. But just my luck, as soon as I was gonna get called up, they're like, okay, we're gonna change that up. We're gonna do group interviews now.
Oh, no.
Because there's so many of you guys. So I was like, fuck me. Like I said,
Those are the worst.
yeah, like I don't like speaking in public. I don't like, having people watch me in that sense. So it was 4 of us interviewing at the same time. And like, this is, again, back to my pretentious, I hate pretentious businesses,
Yeah.
I want to work at a like mom and pop shop,
Yeah.
where you're grinding and you're putting your work and you see the place grow, you see it grow, because you're putting the effort and there's no pretentiousness to it. But this coffee shop, it was very pretentious where I hate this question and I understand why they ask it, but it was like, so why did you want to work here, Why did you choose this? So I said, like I like the aesthetic, I like how it looks. I always wanted to work at a coffee shop. And they're like, well, if you want to work at a coffee shop, why didn't you apply to and they named another coffee shop like a block away, and I'm like, oh, don't worry about that. I applied to that one too.
Don't worry about me.
Worry about you, boo boo.
Yeah.
I'm covering my bases, So I answer that, and the worst thing is I answered this in a group interview,
Did you see anyone else's face?
I didn't, but I'm like, you need me, I don't need you. It was kind of like that attitude, that I had. But like, I don't know, I just think it's a pretentious question to ask.
Did he say anything, or did
it was a she, yeah. She was like, oh, okay, cool.
Good to know.
Good to know. And then another one asked, like they said, what was your personality? And I don't know why. Once again, I think like I said, I'm horrible. I think this part I didn't tell you, but I'm horrible at interviews. I guess from these two experiences.
Oh.
They're like, what's the personality trait that you really like? And like, I'm like, at that point I was like, I don't know. People say that I have a unique laugh, and it makes them laugh. And then I'm like, sometimes it's too loud, maybe too loud. I'm like, maybe that's why I'm like learning sign language, because I'm gonna be around deaf people and they're not gonna hear my laugh. But now everybody's gonna know.
Oh my gosh, Ricardo.
But yeah, I was like, my laugh can be obnoxious. I'm like, why am I like saying this?
Did you laugh at least so they can hear your laugh?
No, they're like, okay, now I'm intrigued. I want us to hear your laugh. I'm like, well, it has to be genuine. It has to be something that makes me laugh.
And you didn't laugh because you said you
well, no, it has to be genuine, you know?
Well, you telling me now you were laughing.
No, but because now I'm looking back at it and I'm like, that was a stupid thing to say. That was so dumb.
I think if you would have laughed after, they'd be like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like,
But like, I was basically giving them reasons not to hire me. I'm like, my laugh is obnoxious. Some people say it's too loud. But yeah, the worst part of that was like, maybe that's why I'm learning sign language, because I'm gonna be, oh my god. But yeah, I
That's
knew.
it? That's all they said? No, we're intrigued? That's it?
No, they're like, now I want to hear that laugh.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, and I told them, no, it
Yeah.
has to be genuine. Like, somebody has to make me laugh, and other people are not funny, you know.
Yeah, lame.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So, but there was more questions, and I did horrible
But
on
they
those
didn't,
questions.
that's it? They didn't say anything after you said it needs to be genuine?
Like, to make me laugh?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, they just said, okay, move along.
Yeah, they
You're
went
boring.
to-
We don't like you.
Yeah.
If you
So
would have laughed, we would have hired you.
I mean, I don't know.
I think so. They would have.
But like, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a horrible experience. That like looking back at it, I'm like, oh my god, like,
Embarrassing.
yeah, so embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
So I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I know exactly why they didn't hire me. You know, I wouldn't have hired.
You should go back
myself.
and be like, I applied like 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Can you give me feedback?
I don't need the feedback. I know.
Was I in the running? Like,
I'll be America's Next Top Model.
America's Next Top Barista?
No, but the funny thing is that I think I learned from that, because later on I got 2 job interviews, and I got, for one of them I did get it, you know, and for the other one I feel bad, and I don't know if I should say this, but it was like, I knew I wasn't gonna stick to the job, because at that time I already had another job and I had school, but it was more like, I'm like, I need this experience, you know?
Yeah.
Based on the previous ones that were so horrible, I'm like, I need to get better at my job interview skills.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And I did the job interview, and the job interview went amazing. And at the end of the interview, the lady that was interviewing me, she's like, well, you know, I do have another person that I'm like interviewing, and the person was right there. So I knew that she wasn't lying, you know?
Right.
And she's like, but I actually think that you're gonna be the one, you know, like
You're the one. Here's the
one.
rose.
Yes, yeah, exactly. She was like, you wanna join me in the fantasy suite?
Okay.
But she was like, yeah, so I think you're gonna be the one, you know, like, we really like you.
You're the one. I have a
you're the
gut
one.
feeling. You
So
give
the
me
thing is,
butterflies, you're the
like
one.
she told me that, and then she, of course, like, the guy came up, and now he was gonna interview. I laughed, and like literally the next day she sent me a text. She was like, the job is yours, you know, like, we interview like different people, but I think you're the best match. And I felt awful, you know.
See? Did you
But-
laugh on that one? That interview?
I don't know, but I think I just knew more like what they were gonna ask, you know, which is stupid, because they're basic questions that I should have prepared for. But like I said, I didn't have the experience before.
Right.
Now that I think about it, maybe I should go back and like during this pandemic apply there. I don't know if they're open though. I should, you know, apply again.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
especially if she really liked you.
Yeah,
know,
she
and
really
stuff.
liked me. Okay, so if you know I have a job, I'm gonna be a barista again. But another one, and this one was more like I was witness to it, and I was just at the job, so it was just like more about bystander, you know.
Cheese, yeah.
But
yeah.
I was working because I did get a job as a barista, you know, at a coffee shop, kind of like a coffee shop, you know, and there was this girls that were Instagram bloggers.
Okay.
You know, like those. Yeah. One of them was a blogger because she said that she had her blog and she was writing stuff down, and but it was like a group of 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember. But this place is very aesthetically pleasing, you know. So like they were taking photos all the time. You know, they were basically having a photo shoot inside the establishment that I was working at.
Did you come in the background?
No, because there was a spot for.
They told you to move.
No. Yeah, because if not, they would have like made bank, you know, having me. They have to pay me. But they were not the issue. The issue was that we were next to a gym, and one of the trainers of that gym was sleeping with one of the customers' girlfriends. You know what I mean?
Okay.
One of his customers.
Yeah.
So he had a couple that were his customers, but he was sleeping with the girlfriend. So the boyfriend came in and they started fighting. And it was because this place has glass windows. So like I said, it was me in the establishment and then the gym is next door. But they started fighting in front. And there was like blows, you know, like actual hitting, you know.
Oh, wow.
There was other people, there was somebody calling the police. There was other people trying to stop them from fighting, but they kept fighting. The funniest thing was that the girls inside were like seeing all this, you know, happen. Also, they're like, "Oh my God, this is horrible! Oh, not even in New York," because they were from New York. They're like, "Not even in New York City, I see this. Oh my God!" I kept going and taking their pictures.
Terrible.
Like terrible selfie, you know. But yeah, but the funny thing is that I knew the drama, you know, afterwards. That it was a trainer sleeping with a girlfriend, you know. But yeah, it was funny. But anyways, those are the ones I remember.
Yeah.
Oh my! I can't believe I said the interview ones. I should have kept that to myself. But anyways,
You shall be judged.
Right? Maybe I'll post more on our Instagram. Where can they follow us?
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and follow us on our Instagram, which is at Interrupted Rambling. And you can find both of our Instagram handles on the bio. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is Interrupted Ramp. And Ricky has Twitter, which is It Is Not Richard. So go ahead and follow us there.
Same as Instagram. Other than that, subscribe wherever you can. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're on all of them now, I believe. Support us if you can.
Yeah.
And we have more episodes for you coming soon. Stay tuned every Wednesday. Peace out, A-Town. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching the video. Don't forget to listen to the full episode. You can go to your favorite podcast platform. We are a few episodes ahead on the audio format. Here's a little sneak peek on the latest episode.
So stick around and see what made Fatima say this.
So that don't mean that I can't get freaky.
And what made Ricardo say this.
You see a thirsty bitch and you don't give her water?